Hi guys, I hope you're good. I am up in the Peak District. I'm on a lad's holiday. They've gone off to watch football, so I'm going to spend the afternoon doing my own thing and going for a little walk in the hills. My friends dropped me at the Mamtor car park, which was very, very busy, but is the easiest route up the hill. It was a very hot but very windy day, so the paragliders were out in force. I could have stayed and watched them all day. I love all the different colours and how they effortlessly glide through the air. Honestly, I think I'm a bit obsessed with them. It was very busy at the trig point. I don't usually like coming here on a weekend, but sometimes that's unavoidable. Mamtor is 1,696 feet tall, or 517 metres, and it's the site of a late Bronze Age, early Iron Age hill fort. The Peak District is made of two distinct areas, the Dark Peak to the north, made up of moorland and gritstone, and the White Peak, an area of limestone and gorges. Mamtor sits right at the southern point of the Dark Peak, overlooking both areas of the Peak District. I'm walking the Great Ridge, a 3-kilometre route from Mamtor to Lewes Hill. The ridge separates Castleton, where I'm staying on this trip, and Edale, which I've featured in my videos before. The lowest point of the ridge is Hollin's Cross, where these lovely cows were grazing. It's the easiest route for walking between Edale and Castleton. Before the church in Edale was built, funeral parties would use Hollin's Cross to get to the church in Hope, the next village to Castleton. Hollin's Cross therefore became known as the Coffin Road. If you carry on east along the main path, you soon come to Back Tor, the steepest climb on the ridge. It honestly looks worse than it feels, and the climb is so worth it for the views from the top. On a good day, it's the perfect spot to stop for a break and take in the scenery. Train! After a little rest, it was time to carry on towards Lewes Hill, also known as Ward's Peace. George Ward was a politician and campaigner for walkers' rights. In 1900, he founded the Sheffield Clarion Rambling Club, which is credited as being the first working-class rambling club. Ward named the club after the Clarion, a socialist newspaper he used to advertise the group. The Sheffield and District Federation of the Ramblers Association gifted him a piece of Lewes Hill, which he then in turn gave to the National Trust. There's a plaque dedicated to Ward at the summit of Lewes Hill. In the distance is Win Hill, which I've also made a video on. There are some fanciful stories of kings and battles and the names of Win and Lewes Hill, but unfortunately it's just a coincidence. Unless it's not and the stories are true. I'll let you decide on that one. It's a really easy descent back into Castleton. It's really well signposted too, so difficult to get lost. There are train stations in Hope and Edale, which makes this area a good option for a visit to the Peak District. This is one of my favourite buildings. It's the Hope Cement Works. They're the largest cement maker in the UK and have their own quarries and railway. Castleton also has a caravan and camping club site. I'll definitely need to come back in the van next time. On the path back into Castleton, you get a great view of Peveril Castle up on the hill. Peveril Castle, the former settlement of William Peveril, is a ruined 11th century castle. The castle changed ownership many times, with King Henry II first confiscating it from the Peveril family in 1155. The castle was never assaulted, perhaps due to its great defensive position, which also gives breathtaking views of the Peak District. There's Mam Tor. You can see how landslides have eroded the southern face of the hill. There's Lewes Hill, Win Hill. By the 14th century, the castle had started to fall into disrepair. There were plans to demolish it entirely, but that never happened. Here you can see the remains of the Great Hall, and, of great importance, the old drop toilet. The keep is the best preserved part of the castle, and you can go inside. From here, you get a great view of the dale below. Cavedale is a limestone valley formed by glacial meltwater. The almost sheer sides rise to a height of 50 metres. No bother for this flock of sheep. There are caverns directly below Cavedale, and there are a number of caves in the walls, as well as former lead mines. It's probably my favourite place in Castleton to either walk or just sit and watch the sheep and the clouds. As much as I'd love to have stayed there all day, I did eventually have to tear myself away, making sure to pay a visit to the local cemetery on my way back. That's always a must-do, isn't it? Thank you as always for joining me, and I'll see you again very, very soon.